That makes sense.
If we do start, what?
Nothing. But hey, I'm gonna do one of these real quick.
Right.
I'm gonna do it one more time.
Go ahead.
All right. Then it'll be so much easier to sync that shit up.
And to get the ghost out.
Yeah, because you don't want the ghost. I don't know if there are ghosts in this house, but the house was built in 1917.
This house was built in 1917?
Yes, it's built in 1917. So I almost guarantee somebody definitely died here.
Definitely. A couple times.
The same person died here a couple of times.
I don't know about the same person, but
no.
It's a lot of generations.
Yes.
There's been an old woman on a ventilator in one of these rooms here.
Well,
with the family around her.
You said what? Not yet. We're the first the first of the COVID generation to live in this house, if you think about it. Because no one lived in here before. We moved in right when COVID hit. Like, we're probably one of like 200 people in Michigan that like we're like, oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Ventilators aren't new though.
Oh, that's a good point.
I think I said ventilator and you were like,
COVID. I just like COVID right away. That's why I thought it was funny.
But no.
But
yeah, there's somebody died here. I can feel
it's
that.
not funny though. But
I can feel that.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, in the middle of the night, I definitely have but heard people walking around, and I know it's not Tony and Reese because they be snoring when they sleep. So if I hear them snoring and I hear people walking down the stairs, Shane never comes upstairs. So there's no way it's him. So I definitely think somebody either just continuously keeps coming into our house and just kicking it when I'm asleep, or I got a ghost.
Something more suspicious. But this is the best I've had there. I thought the peyote cookies was fire, but this is a sativa. I guess I gotta start smoking sativas more. This is Jack Herer, who named after the guy who was a cannabis advocate.
Oh,
he wrote a couple books. His name is actually Jack Herer.
Oh, I thought he was like a lawyer.
I
or
don't
some
know
shit.
if he created this strain or if it was just named after him. I think it said he created it though.
He might have. He might have done the science of it initially.
Yeah. I think he died in it said 03 or something like that. But it won a lot of awards when there started being cannabis awards. That's what always win, I guess.
Really? Was it in the High Times, or was it the High Times Cannabis Cup? Isn't that a thing?
It was. Let's see. Yeah. Let's check here.
Let me check my browser. Hold
Siri, Jack Herer. There you go. You spelled it right too, Siri.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh, he died in 2010.
Oh wow, recently. R.I.P.
Natural causes.
Yep, because he smoked hella bud.
Heart attack.
Oh.
But that's natural.
Sure.
Heart attacks are natural. Wait, do you think heart attacks are natural?
I think heart attacks are probably an unavoidable thing that happens to most people.
If they don't take care of them.
No, I'm saying just if anyone's going to die of natural causes, that natural death is going to be a heart attack. But
or cancer.
Or cancer.
I see cancer as a...
Sure.
It's a normal.
People, well, dude, it's
I think if you don't die from a heart attack, you usually die from cancer. If you get old enough.
Is cancer considered a disease?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Because it's not.
And it's like a bloodborne disease.
Well, it's a genetic...
It's genetic, and you can also get it if your family doesn't
It's a genetic malformation. Isn't that correct? Isn't that the correct terminology for what cancer literally is?
I know that it just attacks... It has a lot to do with the cells.
Genetic mutation.
The white cells, yeah.
Yeah.
It mutates your genes. It makes... if one gets in there... It's like HIV. If one gets in there, it turns the other ones... It mutates the other ones.
Damn.
That's
just
why,
like COVID.
Same thing. That's why HIV and cancer, the white... I think they both attack, the white blood cells. Or something like that. But there can be other types of cancer, though. There's, tumors and, But I feel like that's all the same thing. I don't know.
Look, there's, there's so many different kinds. But isn't that crazy, though? It's not there's no cure. I mean, this is the thing that most people know, so it's not interesting to talk about. But, I mean, just in general, the fact that, that's been going on forever.
That's great. Yeah.
People have had cancer forever. Cancer was not a human-made thing.
Yeah.
It was just...
It's just a
propelled
It's
forward.
not even a human-made thing. Yeah, it's just a human disease. It's what... I think it's what most humans die from. I think that's the actual statistic. Most humans...
Guaranteed. That sucks, though. That's a shitty
Would you rather
death.
die in a car crash or freaking cancer? I would say cancer because I'm scared of pain, but they're both... very painful?
That's a tough question. I think it depends because they're both tragic. Car crash is instant and tragic.
One is suffering.
And one is suffering and tragic. And sometimes both. Sometimes it's instant. I mean,
right.
Not to get too personal, but I had a family member who got cancer and then 3-4 months later died. So, you know, it can get you quick, but like at the same time, and like that shit was tough. Like it was whack. It was not. That was the only time I've ever seen cancer firsthand. Yeah. Like I've known of people who've had cancer, but I've never seen it firsthand.
Dude,
it was tough. It was whack.
One of my first vivid memories, for real, like my cousin Grant, he died in like when I was probably like 8 or 9, but he had HIV. And I just remember when I was young, like 3, 4, I remember him used to like just come around all the time. I think his family, like my mom is just a nice lady. She'll let people come over. Like, it's our cousin. And literally every time he came over, he was just skinnier. I remember that vividly. It's crazy. I kind of want to do a movie on that shit, bro. Low key. Like I wonder, like, I mean, because even then, you could like there were, you know what I'm saying, not cures, but like medicine to keep you. Like I wonder why he didn't, you know what I'm saying, take medicine or if he found out way late. Because that's the thing. He probably found out when he had AIDS that he had HIV. You know what I mean? Because it turns into, that's the deadly part. You know what I mean? It's weird. My mom doesn't talk about shit, like tragic shit like that, but that's literally my first memory. It's like my cousin, great, funny guy. I remember just he would just come over like tired and like just lay down. Damn. He would just come over to lay down, chill.
Did that like rock your family, or was that, like you said, it was suppressed? You know what I'm saying?
It didn't really rock the family. No, because I feel like he was like distant from the family. Because, okay, he was my like first cousin. I met his sister who like became my favorite cousin, like years later. And like my mom told me, yeah, that's, you know, your cousin's sister. And I hung out with, you know what I mean? So like, it's like I didn't know. Or I was too young. I probably went to the funeral. I don't know. I truly don't know. Damn. But I do remember him and the skinniness.
I had a young cousin die, like, well, not young, like 24. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was a kid.
Not young?
Well, I'm saying like not a child, but like I was a child when it happened. Right. I was maybe like 6 or 7 maybe. 24. But he was like 24, 25, I think, maybe a little older than that. But you still, you know, young. He wasn't married, and he died in a you know, no disrespect, but I think it was either a snowmobile accident or a 4-wheeler accident. I think it might have been a 4-wheeler. No, I can't remember. It's one or the other, but just
like in town. Where you
in the woods.
No, like, but in town where you grew up.
They lived in Michigan, yeah, but they weren't any. I was, you know, our families are all spread out between Battle Creek, and like Flint and
okay, so they weren't in the vicinity, in the township.
No, we had to go to the funeral, and I remember that was the first time. That's crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I remember vividly the conversation I had with my family before going to the funeral for the first time. So I was 6 or 7, laying in their big bed, watching their little TV in their room, and they were both sat on the bed with me. And my mom and my dad both basically explained, like, we're going to go to a funeral, but this isn't a fun thing. Like, this isn't like a thing we're going to go do and be like, hey, there's grandma. Hey, there's this. Hey, look at who cousin, you know, so-and-so. Like, this is, like, sad.
I feel like I always knew that. Like, I remember, like, first funerals I went to, like, I would cry just because other people were crying.
I've done that.
I feel like a phony a little bit. But, yeah, I would cry, bro. I would cry.
Have you had that happen to you in other times besides that? Because I have.
What?
Where I cried somewhere where I think back and I go, why was I fucking crying?
Oh, yeah. My first.
But really cried.
My first. Really? I don't know if it was cry. Yes.
Not you pretended to and got away with
really
it. You
cried.
really cried.
I think it happened during my first anxiety attack, which was at
that's a reason to cry, Chase.
Which was at my I was like 2005, so I had 9, almost 10. Bruh. It's so crazy.
Why? What was the event?
My brother's wedding. My oldest brother.
So,
and I think
at the wedding?
Yeah. And I think I had it because, well, one, I had to read something aloud in church. But it was after that. I think it had more to do with, like, I probably thought, like, my brother would go away forever. Like, he's not my brother anymore. He got married. Type stuff. You know what I mean?
That's cute. But that's, I see that.
That's literally my first. That's crazy, bro. We talking about a lot of freaking. We started out with death for some reason. What got us on that?
We talked about
cancer. But why
did
do we
start
get
talking
on
about
cancer?
Either way, my head was like half cut off that whole time. No, I'm in it. But mine was, I went to this camp. It was like a Christian camp. I'm not even gonna say the name of the camp.
Oh God. Well, you were a Christian?
I mean, I don't know. I was raised. See, that's another thing that kind of creeps me out. I was raised Christian.
Right.
So like, I was raised and informed to believe in Christianity. Okay. But I kind of just believed in it, but I didn't care enough about it.
Same.
And
I told my mom I was an atheist at 12. At dinner.
I didn't ever do anything like that. I told my stepdad I was, but I'm not.
And I don't know why I felt like that. I don't know why I felt like it was probably. There was an incident that might have caused it. My pastor, like, I remember bringing a Harry Potter book. It was my favorite shit. And my mom literally told me, like, like, the pastor doesn't like that. She didn't care about it. I was reading that. Wizardry. But she was just like, because I was bringing it to church. And she was like,
fuck you, preacher.
And I think after that, I was just like, a couple months later, like, Mom, I don't believe in God. I was like 12, 6th grade.
Expelliarmus.
And she was like, she literally said something like, not like that's gonna catch up with you, but something in that vein, like,
oh shit,
like, a life without God type, you know what I'm saying? But she's not that Christian, but I think she thinks I believe in God to this day. Like, she blocked that out, but I remember it vividly.
So, are you an atheist?
I'm a Kanye Christian now.
Describe that. What does
that
Kanye
mean? Christian? Mm-hmm. I like Christianity when Kanye talks about it.
Okay. Anyway, so you're no, what, agnostic?
But I'm a
or are you an atheist? I don't know what I am.
I think I'm agnostic. There's days where I do believe in a personal God, which would be like some people would say is an inner voice or a soul. Like, you ever hear your inner voice?
Guidance.
Like something that talks, but you don't say it out loud. Like everybody has this. I try to talk about it. People act like they don't have an inner voice, but like,
my inner voice is my voice.
Yeah, but I think that's a personal God, because it usually tells you something ain't right. It usually tells you don't do that, and then maybe you decide to do it and you do it. But like, it usually warned you, or like sees the future kind of shit. And I truly think that's God, or my personal one.
I believe that.
Like my own morals, like I've got, like, throughout life, I feel like people gather morals, and that's the inner voice of what they know is right, and it tries to tell them.
That's interesting.
So usually we go on our own path and fuck up, and then we're like, and sometimes we listen to it, and we're like, yeah, that shit was right.
I've never made that distinction.
People call it intuition, or their gut.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's God to me, man.
Nice. I like that. That's interesting. That's a cool way.
But then other times I don't believe in God.
Right. I can see that too. That's why I'm so conflicted.
Just as tragedies.
Well, no, I feel like that's where
there is no
God lies is in the tragedy, because, I mean, it's it's like, that's the most human thing. It's the thing you couldn't imagine. Like, think about it. What is heaven? Heaven is what something you could never imagine, and it's infinite, and da-da-da-da-da, and after you die, you go there, da-da-da-da. Think about, like, war. Yeah. All the awful things, like big, like genocides, and like, massive, wiping outs, or like enslavements of people, like massive amounts of torture and trauma over a large space.
See, I think heaven and hell are a real thing.
I think,
but not a physical thing. Crazy. I feel like it's more metaphorical. Like, I've read the Bible a little bit.
Came from?
I've read the Bible a little bit.
World.
I think it's all metaphorical, because I feel like you can live through heaven and hell. I think I've lived through both. I think hell is like when you're, like, depressed Like when you're just feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like the world ain't shit. Like
Right.
you have you know what I'm saying? Apathetic outlook. Like that's hell. That's suffering. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're like, you know, chilling with friends, you know what I'm saying? Laughing. Like that's
No
the
worries.
best you can get
at
that moment. You know what I mean?
From your perspective.
Right.
Some people would consider that hell.
What?
Hanging out with their friends.
Oh yeah.
Having to be in a social setting and having to sit around and all that shit.
Sometimes that's me.
Heaven to them is being in the studio working on, you know, playing the piano or, you know, playing. Some people like to play the game.
I think heaven and hell are just a feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's where the idea came from. Because you know we wrote
it's like,
the
do you
fucking
want?
Bible.
It's like, do
We
you want to
wrote it.
go? It's like, do you want to go to hell? Like, if you do these things, you're gonna go to hell. And what are the things that they're talking about? Like
Murder,
disrespecting the fucking commandments, which is like murdering, stealing. And what happens? You know what I'm saying? When you have that shit in your head and you do that shit, like you are in hell. Even if you say you're not Christian or not. Like I believe everybody in America is a Christian. Just because our country was based off Christianity and formed on it. And so we get taught these things. Like our parents teach us, yo, don't be killing people, yo.
Right.
Don't be stealing, yo.
Yeah.
Don't lie, yo. And when we do, of course, not the sociopaths and the psychopaths, but regular people, when we do those things, we're in hell. Because we're like guilty. We're like, fuck, we're going to get caught. Like we're paranoid. Like, but I've never murdered. I've lied and still, though. Definitely, and I've been in hell both times for doing that. Every time I lie, it's like, why did I lie?
I don't know. Like I felt like I've obviously lied to people before, and like I feel bad that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it for a reason.
Right.
Like. It's, you know, and it's not like I lie to everyone. It's not like I lie to my friends and like, you know, close family that I can talk to openly about things.
What's your favorite lie that you tell? That's just ridiculous.
That's the thing is I don't tell common lies. I don't tell daily lies. I've lied before about like I know information and someone goes, hey, did you know that this, and this? And I go, no, because I'm trying to keep somebody's secret. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody, you know, if let's be flipping. I don't know why I haven't been cussing this whole time. For some reason, I've censored myself.
I know.
It's crazy.
Ain't it crazy? Yeah. You don't even need to. You talk like a human.
Yeah. But I lied, obviously, to my family about, like, smoking weed when I was a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, now I don't feel like I have to do that, you know, for the most part. If I, you know, I'm not going to be over there, you know, being like, I just smoked a whole bag.
Mom!
I'm not going to be
hey, Mom!
If my mom asks me, what are you doing? I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, smoking it down. Like, you know, I'm just going to not talk about that stuff and not be high around my mom, for Christ's sake.
Bro, just because you brought up moms watching fucking Defending Jacob. And it's based on, like, you know, the Mass area, Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
And,
talk about it a little bit.
Hold on. This is just a scene before I talk about it. There's a scene where he's like, you know, trying to find this kid who may have a connection, who may know somebody involved in a murder.
Okay.
And it's like a teenage kid, Boston kid, lives in the hood, just a single mom. And his mom's like, he's in there with his girlfriend doing God knows what. And then he comes out and she's like, this guy wants to talk to you. He talks to him. He's like, man, fuck you, yo. And he's like, and the mom's like, baby, just tell him what. And he's like, shut up, Mom. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. But Defending Jacob, I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
That's really funny though.
I love "Shut Up, Ma" in a Boston accent.
Shut up, Ma. Fuck you, Ma.
Yeah.
No, I would never. Say
I hope that never happened.
I've never said that. I don't think I've ever honestly. Like, I've never cussed at my mom or used expletives at my mom or anything. I've raised my voice in frustration, like I'm about to cry, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid, because I'm in trouble, and I'll, you know, raise my voice.
No, I've definitely raised my voice.
She'd be shutting me down.
Talk back, you know.
My mom's a strong woman, though. She'll shut me down if she needs to.
Yeah.
Only time she ever cussed at me, she told me to get your damn coat, because I kept fucking up, leaving it in the house and shit.
Yeah.
Get your damn coat. That was the only time she's ever yelled at me or cussed at me about anything.
Wow. Yeah, your mom was a cusser.
Back in the day.
She had to be.
Well, that's the thing. Back in the day, I think when she was our age, she was just like us, because she lived in Battle Creek, bro.
Right.
She lived in Battle Creek. Like, she went to Lakeview. You know what I'm saying? She was hanging out, you know, with people kicking it.
Yeah.
You know, probably doing things. But she definitely wasn't ever like heavy, like into like raw shit. Like,
Right.
She was, a kid.
No cocaine.
No. My mom never.
No
did
cocaine. That's what they say with my mom too. She was like, like her friends come over a lot. They talk about her. I guess she wasn't a drinker or smoker. She would just drink wine coolers. That's it. Even when she was pregnant with me, just wine coolers.
I mean, yeah. All she did was drink wine coolers, even when she was pregnant with me. Just wine coolers, like only wine coolers. That's all she drank.
Yeah.
She was like, "Get this fucker out of me! I'm just gonna do it."
No, you can drink. You can drink wine when you're pregnant. It's crazy.
That's what I hear, but fuck off. Yeah, I don't know. My mom didn't do nothing.
I'll do a glass.
My mom said she didn't smoke because my mom did smoke cigarettes. Crazy, right?
Dude,
bro.
She had to smoke Newport Reds.
No, she. I gotta ask her what she smoked. I gotta ask her.
Newport Reds. She's gonna say Newport Reds, and you're gonna be like, "What?"
I don't know. Yo, I bet.
Or Marlboro.
No, I think she might have smoked basics. Because that was a thing. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Is basic lights. So I wouldn't be surprised.
What's your dad smoke today?
Basic light 100s.
Today?
Well, yeah. Now they're Marlboro light 100s.
He probably got her on. Yeah.
But she quit smoking when I was in.
Run that.
Because I didn't know the whole time I've ever been alive.
Yeah.
I never seen my mom smoke a cigarette ever once. My dad all the fucking time. He never hit it. But my mom, she would. She's so funny, dude. She would go to the garage, but she would like make up different things every time she went to the garage because I'd just be watching movies. You know what I'm saying? I've been obsessed with movies since I was a child. So like I would be in there watching anything, and she would be like, "Hey, I'm going out to the garage to work on the car," and I'd be like, "All right, bet."
Right.
And I believed her. One time she was like, "I'm going out to the garage to make a phone call."
Oh,
I said, "Okay,
wow.
I don't care." I think when my mom told me that, I think she was like, "Who did you think I was talking to?" And I was like, "Probably your lawyer, probably your divorce attorney."
That's crazy.
But yeah, she was super. But my mom, she's a motherly woman. Like
mother.
She didn't want me to see the less desirable sides of her, or like at least what she thought were the less desirable parts of her. I would never judged her. I don't judge my dad.
But she felt like she had to grow up.
She felt like she shouldn't be smoking cigarettes in front of her kid and influencing me to do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't actually find out about that until I was like 18 years old. Like my mom, I think, because she was talking to me because I used to smoke cigarettes, and she was talking to me about why I should quit, and she's like, "I know it's hard." And I'm like, "Do you?" And she goes, "Yes, I quit." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you probably smoked for like 2 years when you were 16 and then you stopped." And I was like, she's like, "No, I smoked from the time I was," I don't remember how young she was, but probably not that young. But until she was like, 35. Like, I had no idea. But yeah, my mom rocks, dude. She's the best.
Yeah, man. So, what have you been watching? I don't know if we're releasing this or not.
I think this is great. It doesn't matter what you do with it, but
just a little try.
It's good to have. Maybe we can just show it to the homies or something. Just toss it around.
You know what fuck is going out there now?
Shit, it don't matter.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck.
But yeah, I would, if I could interview someone, Paul Dano and Woody Allen. Woody.
I feel like with that whole situation, with how I research these types of things, allegations and such,
right?
I read a handful of articles that quote certain people. Some of those articles end up quoting other articles.
Right.
So I go to read that article, and you just don't really get any of what's going on, really.
Okay, I get what's going on.
And I, I basically base my opinion on it off of what I see, regardless of whether it's enough for me to conclude a certain basis. So if the general consensus is that Woody Allen, one, it's just weird that he married his stepdaughter.
Yeah, see, it's two things on top of one.
Also,
if it was one of them,
what's two? I was gonna say it's just two things. It's the stepdaughter thing, and then they say that he molested his daughter, his actual daughter.
Right. Those are the two things.
So
I feel like if they weren't stacked, if they weren't stacked, it'd be less of a problem. But look, no one knows what happened, of course, other than him and the daughter.
Ronan says he knew.
And the daughter.
Ronan says he knew.
Now, I do know what people do know, the FBI did, like, you know what I'm saying, investigate twice and found nothing. And put in the report that she may have been coerced by her mom to tell that story. That's in the FBI report. That's one of the, I think, one of the three conclusions that they came up with. One of them was like, he actually did it. 2, he didn't do it, and he's being coerced, like, by the mother. And then, like, 3 is like, he didn't do it, but it was something about how her statement just felt rehearsed, and she was young, like really, really young when she did the report, like, you know what I mean? And they just said it sounded rehearsed.
Don't you think it's interesting that they continue to talk about it today, though? Like, they still stand by what they say. Nobody's recanted what they've said. They're like, so what's going? It's like every 20 years or 15 years, they're like, hey, so Mia, did that happen? And then she's like, yeah. Like, fuck that guy.
Because it's a rich white guy. But yeah, who knows, man. But I will interview him. He's one of my favorite filmmakers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's a touchy subject. I don't really like to talk about them when I'm around people.
Right.
You know, I know how they feel, but
you know how I feel.
I like the movies. I like the movies. I don't know how you feel about it.
You don't? No. I've told you a couple times. I think he's made great movies. I've seen movies that he's done that are good. Yeah. And the acting performances are really the greatest parts of his movies, in my opinion, because he gets great actors. Right. But I'm not a fan of his. Okay. I can't be like, I love Woody Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel that way.
I love him. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about me and Jewish culture. I love Jews. I don't know. I love you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think I fetishize Jewish people.
No, I didn't say I fetishize. It's just like the content of the movies. I shouldn't be watching Woody Allen movies. Like, they're nothing that represents me. And when I say that, I'm putting air quotes. I shouldn't be watching, because what's in there, you know, doesn't represent me per se, like based on skin or economic like standing. Like, it's always middle class people,
right? In
his movies, it's all only about middle class people. And I don't know, something about it, man. I think it's just like the dialogue. I've always been into like writing. Writing has always been like what I look to first in movies. Mm-hmm. And like, I think it's just that. And just sometimes I learn from the movies. I don't know.
I feel like I definitely, when I think of filmmakers, like for whatever reason, I immediately thought of an actor, because I think that's like probably the part of film, if not the, I mean, obviously cinematography, a good script, all, you know, how the camera moves, those, you know, any sort of decision that's made, editing, whatever, is all impressive to me.
Right.
But I'm just automatically just gravitate towards actors for some reason.
Your whole life, huh?
Always. That's I pretended to be people. When I grew up, I role-played. I pretended to be people.
I feel like,
and would do shit by myself.
I feel you on that. I feel like everybody, if they're young and see film, it's usually actor first. If they're young and watch a lot of movies, it's usually actor. Because for me, it was Jim Carrey. I agree with you. It was character for me first. But as I got, I mean, actor. I mean, not character.
But even like a character actor, like even an actor when I was young.
Yeah, as I went along, I started liking writing more. I don't know when that happened, but
I was in 6th grade. 6th grade is when I started to appreciate movies for being movies. Really for the story and like how the story's put together and pacing, because I started to notice pacing and tone. Yeah. Kind of like get more intense, like intensify as I was starting to get that age, because I was allowed to watch deeper movies and like darker shit. Like I told my grandpa, who's like, you know, was like one of my best friends growing up. He was like the dude who put me onto good movies, like good film. He's like, he took me out to Applebee's and like me and him were sitting eating before going to see a movie or something or after. And he was like, so what was a good one that you've seen? What was a good movie that you've seen recently? And sorry, I just got a text. And I was like, oh, you know, I watched this movie the other day called Mystic River on TV. I'm in 6th grade.
I just copped that on DVD. Bro.
Yep, great film. And he was like, you like that movie? And I was like, yeah. And I didn't understand the topics and like the themes of like rape and things like that because I watched it on cable where those things weren't shown. And the dialogue that around it wasn't, you know, so cut and dry to where people were like, it was a rape. They were raping. You know, it wasn't like that. So I didn't make that connection entirely. I did understand that people were like being like attacked and killed because they find a dead body and everything. But yeah, I dug the tone and that intensity of the actors and the realness of it. The fact that it wasn't a sci-fi fantasy action. You know, it wasn't ridiculous blow up explosions and shit. So I liked it, and he basically said, all right, bet, I'm about to start taking you to more of these movies then. And I saw The Fighter, I saw The Town, I saw Wolf of Wall Street, we saw The Descendants together. I, for whatever reason, always remember seeing that movie with him.
That's... Oh, The Descendants.
The Descendants.
I thought you were talking about The Descent.
No, not
Do you remember that?
movie. Yeah, that's a scary movie.
I had that on bootleg. I ain't seen it in theaters. But
that's hilarious. We watched
it was
that.
Scary on bootleg. I feel like scary movies are scary on bootleg. Because you really can't see.
I think scary movies are scarier at your crib than they are at the theater. The theater is just loud, and I don't like being startled when it's loud. But at the crib, I'm actually like I'm in that tone of where the movie is at.
If you're alone, lights off, yes. But I think the theater experience for horror movies are just like I saw Scream 4 in theaters when I was like in 9th grade. I probably shouldn't have went to the night show. It was literally packed, yelling and, you know, audible screams and shit. But I don't know. It was something about that atmosphere. Like, I don't know.
I do like the communal experience of watching a horror film, specifically a horror film with a group of people. A comedy's great too. Comedy and horror are the two best things to watch with a group of people. If you see like a franchise movie, sometimes people can get into it because they like to see certain shit and they'll cheer for things. But that's so fucking gimmicky, dude. I hate that shit. I cheered when the first new Star Wars came out, when the title crawl hit, because I just had this euphoric fucking feeling of when I was a kid and I saw those movies in theaters. Huh?
You're crazy.
Dude, for whatever reason.
Did you applaud for 12 Years a Slave?
No.
I did, man.
I get what you're saying after it was done. No.
Wait, did I see that with you?
Yes, sir.
Double date or some shit. It might have been a double date. I remember taking someone.
Chase.
Huh?
It's not a double date.
It wasn't a double date? It wasn't just me and you and him watching a slave movie.
It was definitely not
three of us?
A group thing. It was like, no one was trying to go see it, bro. It was like you, me, and maybe one other person, but I can't remember who.
I remember taking someone.
We saw Django because I almost died on the way there as well together in a blizzard and when we were in Kalamazoo, and it was you, me. I don't really want to say names on here. But yeah, you, me, a guy that we were doing shit with at the time in theater and the arts, and then a girl that we were collectively friends with.
Damn you, Quinn. We always in snowstorms to see your shit.
Bro, yeah, we went to Hateful Eight in a snowstorm, too.
Oh my
God. You introduced me. This is a crazy thing. This is movie themed in a lot of ways, but Hateful Eight, in a way, was the reason that I was introduced to a lot of music just by circumstance, because we rode in the car home together. I was with my girlfriend at the time in Novi. You met us there.
Yeah, we went there.
And then we went home together back to Kalamazoo. Yeah.
No.
And Lansing? Yeah, Kalamazoo.
I didn't meet you there, bro. You were in Kalamazoo. We met your girlfriend at the time.
You came to her house.
We went to her house. Mm-hmm. But that was after the movie.
We met
to like see her and be like, hey, bye, we're going back. But we drove from here.
Mm-hmm. You did. I was already there.
Who did I come with?
I can say David Kaczynski.
Yeah.
Our boy Dave.
I didn't drive with him.
You rode with him.
We all drove together.
It was you, Dave Kaczynski.
It was me.
And someone else.
No, me, you, and him.
Spencer?
And Spencer. It might have been Spencer came up.
Spencer's name. I love you, Spencer. Yeah. You
did just say old boy whole name, though. That's a long name.
Yeah. That's my boy, though.
I want to talk to him. I need to get him on here.
He's a good fella.
He got me to vote, y'all.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I really do. I really love Dave. But yeah, you showed me Music Soul Child, Zapp and Roger. You played some Stevie that night. You played something else, and after that, I went to college, came home, And that summer, the summer after my sophomore year, I guess that was, because I was with old girl at the time when we went to that movie.
She didn't come this year.
She went to the movie.
She was?
She loved the movie.
She was with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense why we went to her house.
Yeah. But after that, we would kick it in the Vine quite a bit that summer. And that was like the summer where I started really bugging you about, what is this?
Right.
Play this.
I
Hey,
know that.
what's this called? And then started looking into things. And that's literally what stretched my perspective on music. Because all throughout high school, bro, and even like freshman year of college, I wasn't really listening to great music. I was only listening to like one genre of music, and I wasn't really looking for shit.
Who was your artist back in the day?
I have like a...
And how old are you?
How old am I now? Currently?
Yeah.
25. I turned 25 a couple months ago.
Aren't you turning 26 like next month?
Next year, sir. I turned 25
Oh,
a couple
September.
months ago. Yeah.
I'm thinking you were a December guy.
That's weird.
Thinking you were December.
But, so when I was young, this is fun. I like doing this. When I was young, first artists that I listened to were Snoop Dogg, Toby Keith, and Rascal Flatts, and Nickelback. Those are the first groups of artists that I listened to as a child when I was like a baby. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Toby, is he married to Nicole Kidman?
No, dude, that's Keith Urban, dude.
Oh. I saw that.
No.
It's a country name. I saw
is?
that and I was like, yo, that's, yeah.
So, yeah, I listened to those people because that's what I was given. And my mom would listen to like Macy Gray and like Christina Aguilera. My dad would listen to what he gave me, country shit, rock. But he also listened to rap and shit back in the day when we were, when he was our age. When I was in middle school, maybe like elementary school when I moved to Kalamazoo, I only listened to Eminem, Lil Wayne.
Shout out to Eminem.
Eminem, Lil Wayne, and Jay-Z. Those are the only people I listened to because I just found their albums. They were the first things that popped up on iTunes, best hip-hop albums, because hip-hop was what I liked the most. Snoop Dogg was what I liked most out of all that other shit I was listening to, even though I like that shit.
Give me your top 5.
Rappers?
Yeah, if you can.
Top 5 favorite rappers, or the top 5 rappers that I think are the most talented and revered? Or not revered, but talented and sought after.
Top 5, yeah.
My top 5.
Your personal top 5.
That I think are the most talented. Just off top, or should I think
that
about
are your
it and break
favorite
it down?
rappers though, not most talented.
My favorite rappers.
Your top 5.
My top 5 favorite rappers: Currency, Yasin Bey, Jay-Z, Drake.
Oh.
And the fifth one's always tough. It's always a little tricky with the fifth spot because you gotta think real hard about everything that you've been listening to.
I usually do
because I'm listening to some new stuff that's great. I don't know if I consider top 5 type stuff, but when it comes to rappers, bro, I think the fifth spot, and this isn't ranked. I can't do that.
Right.
I'm just saying in that order. Those are the people that come to mind: Currency, Yasin Bey, previously known as Mos Def, Jay-Z, Drake.
Wow.
And shit, man. I don't even think I can narrow it down.
I do a 6-man. That helps me.
If I did a 6th man, I feel like I have to put Kanye in there.
Because I interchange my 6 and 5 sometimes.
Yeah. So if Kanye is in my 5th, my 6th man, can my 6th man be a group?
Yeah, I guess. No.
No?
Gotta be one guy.
Well, or woman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'd say I can't.
You talking about the
narrow
Lauren?
it down to 6.
About the Lauren?
Maybe I can think of my top 4. It's more legit because it's legit. I will say, Currency, Mos Def, Jay-Z, and Drake are the most talented, best rappers in my opinion. Okay. Because of the things that they've covered, the diversity of amongst them. Currency to me is the underground king.
Wow.
But Mos Def kind of created the underground that I know of today. His rhyme schemes, the way he rapped, the beats that he was on, that's the shit that made me, fall in love with hip hop and really love shit. Right. Really dive into shit.
Now, when did you hear that? How old were you?
Mos Def?
Yeah.
Freshman year of high school, 8th grade.
Oh.
and Currency was 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
Currency and Wiz.
Okay.
Because that was a big deal. Currency and Wiz were a big deal. And then I got really into Jay-Z early. I learned the Blueprint when I was in like 6th, 5th grade. And that was the shit. And I listened to Blueprint. I listened to... I'm trying to think of it in terms of how old I was, because it wasn't a lot of shit when I was younger. I didn't dive into discographies until I was in high school.
I feel like my top 5, no order.
But yeah, Blueprint was the first thing.
We going Jay-Z.
Hard Knock Life.
You know, we going to do order. I think I'm going to do an order. We're going to do Jay-Z. We're going to do Eminem. We're going to do Kanye. We're going to do... That's crazy, because we are going to do Drake.
I know who your fifth spot's going to be.
Who?
DMX.
He's on and off my...
DMX would be in like 7.
I'm going to do 7. Yeah, because it's interchangeable between Lauryn Hill, Cameron, and DMX.
All
For my 5.
all definitely in my top 10.
Yeah.
That's where it gets...
Yeah,
top 10's easier.
So who do I say?
Jay,
Jay, Eminem, Kanye, Drake, Lauren, DMX, Cameron. Interchangeable for fifth spot.
I'd put Lauren in top 5 artists, though. Like, I wouldn't put...
She can out-rap all these motherfuckers, though.
I mean,
To be real, though. That's why I gotta put her there.
Do you have, like, do you have, like, a top 5 artist? Because I feel like that's easier for me. Because it's just, I can just break it down to, like, effect.
I guess, like, yeah. Top 5 artists is easy, though, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for me, in order, we got Stevie Wonder. We got Michael Jackson. We got Prince. We got... See, that's hard. We got Kanye West at number 4. And number 5...
Did you say Marvin? I zoned out. I'm surprised.
I said Stevie Wonder,
I know. And
Michael, Prince, Kanye. Stevie Wonder, Michael, Prince, Kanye. I don't know who that 5th is, man.
See, it's tough.
It could be Drake. It could be Jay-Z. It could be Marvin Gaye.
My top 5 is easily James Taylor.
That wasn't a scoff. I'm sorry.
Amy Winehouse. Yeah, he's the shit.
Oh,
That's
shit.
why.
See, I wasn't even thinking.
Amy Winehouse.
Man.
Lauryn Hill.
I keep it black. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even think.
I said Lauryn Hill. Drake.
Right.
And John Mayer.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, gravity.
Oh, don't. Man, come on.
Is working against me. Great song.
Oh, man. No, it is a great song. Shout out to...
Daughters will live.
You know the same guy who did bass on all...
Girl,
on that
become
whole
a lover.
album. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the guy who did bass on the album. What?
And was on his tour is also the same bass player from Voodoo, D'Angelo's album, Pino Palladino. Shout out to Pino. That's my favorite bass player.
I have to look
into
into
that bass line on Gravity is just like...
I'll have to look into them. That would be really cool.
Yeah, Pino crazy.
I do love D'Angelo. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, D'Angelo's my 5th. How does it D'Angelo's my 5th. And he should be 3rd.
Okay.
I'll put D'Angelo over Michael Jackson any day.
I do like Michael, but I don't think he's my top 5.
Michael's not your top 5.
He's in the top 10.
He's not your top 5. You don't listen to Michael, though.
Yeah, that's right. I've listened, but I wasn't a part of... Dude, James Taylor was like a part of me.
You believe the accusations. You believe the accusations.
I actually don't. I think it's crazy that they made a documentary.
Yeah, they're wilding out, man. Hey, speaking
that
of...
might be controversial.
Yeah, did you watch it?
In
you watched,
victims,
you
but
watched
I mean,
both of
it's
them?
very slippery slope.
Did you watch part 1 and part 2?
No. I don't. I'm
I
not
watched
gonna watch
part
it,
1.
No, I'm not gonna watch it.
When it came out,
it's exploitive. Dude.
I did not watch part 2. I just couldn't.
Crackers making.
And I feel like I should give him a chance, bro. Wade, shout out to Wade and I forgot my other guy's name.
Bro, are you shouting out the alleged victims?
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
They public figures, man. Shout out. They people.
Yeah, I wish.
But
I wish them well. I'm not trying to.
No, I'm just saying. Shout out to them. Like, I did watch.
That's a slippery. I
want to watch the second one, but I don't think I will.
I'm not gonna watch. It's just exploded.
And I don't believe you, Wade.
It's terrible.
I don't love you.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, Michael Jackson. It's a crazy situation. You could do a whole podcast about Michael Jackson. People probably have.
Yeah,
it's
his whole
tough.
career. That's
It
the
sucks.
Next,
Dude. His life was rough.
Yeah.
Even though he was the fucking greatest artist of all time.
There we go. And not
at one point.
He don't gotta be in your top 5. You know that.
I know.
Exactly.
I do. That's why I'm saying you can't like it's.
He
went through a lot of shit, and we don't really know what the fuck was going on. That's the thing, bro. With all these things, like obviously, I'm the type of person who immediately is like, "Damn, that's fucked up. Fuck that guy."
Yeah. Why
do that? Because I don't. Because when I hear this person did wrongly to this person, and there's all this media attention backing it up, I automatically am.
I was gonna ask, why do we form opinions about people we don't know?
Because it's topical. We do know. We know of them.
But
they exist, and they are parts of our lives, whether they like it or not.
Jeez.
See, it's crazy. Well, bro, once we put shit out there, bro, think about it. Once we put let's say,
you're open to criticism, but personal criticism.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it just be?
It's out there, bro. If somebody was like, bro, if people were flaming me for whatever reason, my opinions, me talking about shit, bro, I had it coming. Like I put it out there,
right?
Like I'm not, and you know what's great about the world and humanity? They're right, and they can be right.
How are they right?
Because it's their opinion. It's right to them, and that's okay. If I don't agree with them or they don't agree with me, that's okay. Now, if it's, I think all these people should die. I don't agree with you, and that's problematic. You're problematic. Go fuck yourself. Like that's a different situation. Right. But if we're talking about apples and oranges and what's my favorite, we're talking about movies and artists and people will get into the context of why I think Currency is the greatest rapper and judge me based off of that. He don't know shit because of this and that. That's why he listens to this. Or being like James Taylor, Amy Winehouse, Lauryn Hill. He don't know shit because he listens. That of course he listens. They're right because my music scape doesn't touch my movie scape. Doesn't touch it. Movies are, and regardless of what I'm working on and what I'm doing, I'll always love music, and music will always be a big part of my life, and will have an effect on me given where I'm at in my life and what I'm experiencing, what I'm dealing with. But movies, bro.
How'd you get here?
Scopes. Bro.
How'd you get here?
How did I get to where? To movies?
Yeah, no. To this point in particular, you're talking
about.
No, to this point in particular, you're talking about right now, because we were talking about.
We judge public opinions.
I asked, why do people have a? And then you're like, this movie shit.
But I'm saying people might judge me based off of that.
Oh, he's on.
I'm
okay,
open to that. I'm open to that, even though I make music. Man, his music and shit. He fucking don't even like music. He like movies. You right? I made it.
Right.
It could suck, but I did it, and you're allowed to have that opinion about it sucks. I have good friends.
Oh, you're talking about people's. Okay, now I understand what you're talking about. You're saying people have the right to their opinion,
and they will talk about.
I think they don't.
That's
keep your opinion to yourself.
I think you should keep problematic and dangerous opinions to yourself.
What am I talking? I said keep your opinion. I literally just named off a top 5. And named off a lot of my opinions.
We're doing that. I will say I love doing that type of stuff because I love thinking about music and talking about music. But it's the headiest thing anyone can do on a podcast. That's why this is definitely the trial run.
I've been seeing a lot of people
unless that's the podcast. You talk about albums every time, but
right. I feel like I've been seeing a lot. This generation, I kind of like it. They're not. They don't fuck with capitalism. And they don't fuck with competitiveness. I've seen. Remember when those lists would come out and people a lot of people just be like, "Why do we need lists?"
Oh well, it's because of bro. You know why they do that?
What?
Because they're fucking lazy. They don't know what to write about.
No. I'm not talking about. Oh. I'm talking about just regular people, just putting out there we don't. Why do we need lists? Everybody should just be able to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hip hop as hell, and I believe hip hop is very competitive. The culture itself. I'm not even talking about the music. Yes. I just mean the culture itself. you gotta out rap somebody.
Hip-hop's
You
more
gotta
than
talk
music.
about your top 5.
Yes.
You gotta say this album is. Well, you ain't gotta say this album is better, but it's fun conversations. Being like, yeah, Marshall Mathers LP is better than the Blueprint. That's a fun conversation to have. It could take hours,
You're wrong. No.
and it's great.
Yeah.
But I've seen, which is part of it I like. I've seen a lot of people like be against that type of stuff, and I think it's mostly people that didn't grow up hip hop culture wise, not like with the music, but didn't grow up, you know what I'm saying, with hip hop as a culture that they, you know what I'm saying, that's just them. Hip hop is them. Sadly, hip hop was me. I feel I have some hip hop, you know.
I
still.
did. I was rapping in the lunchroom
I have
with
some-
motherfuckers who were
Right.
definitely thinking they were about to out rap me type shit.
Oh,
you know
no.
what I'm saying?
I had one rap battle in school and I lost and I didn't rap battle after that.
You did. I remember that.
It was like 9th grade.
It was with
Because he had some writtens, man, and I was freestyling, man.
It was what's his name?
I ain't gonna say it.
I remember.
But I
his
know
name.
who it is.
It was at the top of the class. It was at the top of
The 3rd floor.
Yeah, baby. Yep. I remember when we were in the lunchroom growing up and we had, you know what I'm saying, rap battles and shit. But that was never, I feel like it was always, it wasn't competitive though. Like you saying you had like this competitive nature. I feel like dudes
I feel
were,
like it was.
I feel like it was, but we weren't battle rapping. We were just we were having a cipher. It was
But,
always
but it
called
was
the
like who
cipher.
had one better.
Exactly.
Exactly,
That's true, but
yeah.
it wasn't aggressive though. And like
No,
the fact that I could pull up with writtens or whatever the fuck and do shit off top and fuck around and be able to
Yeah.
poke people, you know, and go to people and do different types of shit and have it apply
Yeah.
without even meaning to, just because I'd already written it that way. You know, I was, you know, it was always, didn't feel like competition to me. But I think that's part of the reason why I'm always like, I'll never beef with anyone. I'm never gonna have a rap beef with anyone. I won't ever address negative energy.
That's what Drake said.
I will never address negative energy
That's what Drake said.
towards people on this type of shit, on a song,
That's what
on a
Drake said.
tweet, ever.
Drake said the same thing.
He's smart.
And then, wow, look at this. Look where we are, 2020.
He never did. Whose name? When did he say his name?
What do you name? You don't need to say a
He didn't say
name.
names.
But we know who he's talking about.
Yeah, but he's never once said, yeah, I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Oh my god, you're funny. You're funny though.
No, but I see the flaw in that, and you're
Yeah,
right.
but-
That was his argument at the time.
But it's understandable for him.
right.
He has to kind of.
He's got to be on some other shit.
He's a rapper.
But you can't.
He has an
you
image to
can't punk
uphold.
me. You can't punk me. I'm smart.
Why do you want to get punked so bad?
I don't.
Or like,
What makes you think I want to?
tried.
To be tried. I don't need to be tried.
You sound like
I'm saying, but you see it so frequently. That's what you're talking about, the competitive nature of
Right.
of the environment. I like the competitiveness can come to me, and I can
Right,
I
right.
can have a good time with it, but I'm not gonna take it personally and be personally offended
Right.
and go off at somebody. It's not good energy. It's not good for you, man. It literally makes you sick. It puts you in hell in that perspective of what you were talking about. That's
Little
literally
wrap around. I like that.
Whatever. Fuck you.
But no, for real. Thank you. This is a good test run.
Yeah, it was good.
This is just a test run. We might release this.
Why
I
not?
might.
We might.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. And then if
Thanksgiving
anything,
special.
Well, we can do the commentary tomorrow, and then we can do
Thanksgiving special.
Thanksgiving special. What's the Thanksgiving special again?
I don't know. We just gonna.
It's funny because I think ideally we'll have had already released that, so this could be like us trying to figure it out what it's going to be called.
Right.
What is it? Like not what it's going to be called, what the topic's going to be.
Oh, it's getting put out tomorrow. Hopefully. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
But what? So
Depending on the edits.
we can do it right now. We do nothing but smoke weed and watch movies. So
Yeah. Quit talking about. We don't smoke weed.
You're right.
Salvia only.
Yeah.
It's legal.
You're right. Oh, this is legal too.
Salvia.
I'm pointing. It's in frame. It's on the camera.
It's not legal in freaking Iraq
You're right.
where my homies are. What's up, homies? In Wuhan.
Yeah, free
Shout out
Iraq.
all my man. I got some girls in Wuhan I
Free
will
Palestine.
never see again. COVID got the game.
Thanks for having me,
fucked
man. I
up, bro.
appreciate it. Yeah, we'll do the commentary and we'll do the Thanksgiving thing too. That's all you though. The Thanksgiving thing is you.
No, yeah.
I wanna. We'll decide after we're done cutting this shit.
All right.
I bet.
Thanks.